text her, nothing. You wait. She floods your phone. You open up. She drifts away. You go cold. She gets closer. What's going on? Is this love? Or is it a power struggle wrapped in emojis and LOL texts? Modern relationships feel like war disguised as romance. And most men, they're losing. You overthink, you overgive, you chase, and worst of all, you react. But there's a secret only the calmest men know. The less you react, the more they obsess. The less you chase, the more they submit. It sounds cold, it sounds wrong, but deep down, you've seen it work. She's not drawn to chaos, she's drawn to the eye inside the storm. So here's the question. What if the strongest attraction isn't about looks, money, or muscles? What if it's about emotional gravity? There's a forgotten code, practiced by emperors, refined by warriors, feared by manipulators. And it's the reason why some men lose women chasing validation, while others gain respect simply by standing still. That code is Stoicism. And once you learn it, you don't just change your love life, you change your power. Let's get one thing straight. Your emotions aren't the problem. Your obsession with them is. We live in a world that glorifies emotional expression. Speak your truth. Be vulnerable. Just tell her how you feel. But here's the harsh truth. When a man bleeds emotions too freely, he leaks power. Because modern relationships aren't fairy tale gardens. They're psychological battlegrounds. And emotions, they're signals, not orders. React too quickly and she feels it. Panic when she pulls away and she knows it. Confess everything too soon and you've already lost. The Stoic knew this. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Translation: what hurts you isn't what happens, it's how you choose to react. Now ask yourself, she doesn't text back for 6 hours. Do you double text? She posts a picture with another guy. Do you spiral into jealousy? She gives you attitude. Do you raise your voice? Every time you react impulsively, she sees it. You're ruled by your feelings, not your principles. And deep down, women don't trust a man who can't lead himself. Because how can you lead a relationship, a family, a life, if you can't even lead your mind? So what do Stoics do? They feel, but they do not flinch. They love, but they do not obsess. They listen, but they do not over-explain. Their center is still. And stillness attracts. Because in a world full of noise, the calm man is irresistible. He becomes an anchor, a mystery, a force. So next time she tests you, and she will, remember this. Every reaction is a choice. And every choice either builds or breaks your power. Be the fire contained. Be the calm inside chaos. Be the one who leads, not leaks. Let's clear up the biggest myth. Being stoic doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being emotionally disciplined. This isn't about turning into a cold robot. It's about mastering the heat so it doesn't burn you or her. Because here's what they don't tell you. Women don't want a man with no emotions. They want a man who can contain his emotions. And hers too. She wants to feel your depth, but not drown in your neediness. She wants to know you care, but not that you'll crumble if she pulls away. She wants fire, but in a man who can control the flame. That's why Stoicism is not suppression, it's seduction. The Stoic man doesn't overshare. He observes. He listens. He He leads the energy in the room without demanding it. He's the one who feels everything, but shows only what he chooses. You might say, but isn't that fake? Remember, it's focus. See, Machiavelli called this appearing virtuous, not because you're pretending, but because perception is power. Stoicism is the art of strategic restraint. In arguments, he pauses, not to freeze, but to control the frame. When she gets emotional, he doesn't match it, he grounds it. When the world throws chaos, he tightens his grip on himself. And ironically, this control, it makes her feel safe. Because women don't fall for men who overshare every fear and insecurity. They fall for men who stand like mountains, men who feel but do not flinch. So ask yourself, are you reacting or responding? Are you seeking approval or standing in truth? Are you expressing to connect or to be validated? The Stoic man never represses, he refines. Because real power isn't loud, it's not explosive, it's quiet, calculated, chosen, just like you should be. You want to know why some men walk into a room and women feel it? It's not the suit, not the car, not even the looks. It's presence, it's restraint. It's that unshakable vibe of, I don't need to impress you. That is Stoicism in action. High-value men don't chase, they choose. They don't explode under pressure, they expand in it. And this calm, detached energy, it magnetizes. Why? Because in a world full of men who beg for attention, the one who stays silent, the one who watches without needing to speak, the one who isn't moved by trends, emotions, or drama, becomes the most mysterious and desirable man in the room. That's what Marcus Aurelius did, what Miyamoto Musashi mastered, what Machiavelli understood. The man who conquers himself is mightier than he who conquers a city. Because the Stoic man doesn't perform, he projects. He doesn't chase validation, he commands respect. You don't win her over by proving your worth. You win her over by living like you already know it. Stoicism in this sense is emotional dominance. Not over her, but over yourself. And the man who dominates himself dominates everything else. Now here's where it gets real. Women don't test weak men. They test strong men to make sure they're as strong as they appear. So when she throws a storm and you remain still, she doesn't lose interest. She melts. Because women want to feel. And the high-value Stoic man, he lets her feel everything, while feeling nothing he hasn't chosen. He's a storm watcher, a path maker, a man of presence, not persuasion. Be that man. Let's get one thing straight. Stoicism is not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally untouchable. And when it comes to attraction, that's not cold. That's sexy. Because the truth is, women don't just want attention, they want earned attention, selective affection. Affection that says, I chose you, not because I needed to, but because you were worth the calm a guy broke. That's what turns heads. That's what makes a high-value man seductive. He doesn't flirt for validation. He observes. He doesn't tell her what she wants to hear. He tells her what she needs to hear, or says nothing at all. And his silence, it's deafening, it's mysterious. It makes her lean in closer, wondering, what's behind that stillness? Now let me give it to you straight. If you show too much emotion too fast, you're not being deep, you're being disposable. But if you stay grounded, clear-eyed, with a slow smile and a calm tone, she'll chase your mystery more than she'd ever chase your compliments. That's seduction. It's not in the lines you rehearse. It's in the energy you master. Because seduction isn't about pleasing her. It's about centering yourself so hard that she gets pulled into your orbit. A man anchored in Stoicism becomes more than a boyfriend. He becomes a myth. And myths aren't explained, they're felt. That's the final stage. Not just being attractive, but being unforgettable. Not just being liked, but being desired on a soul-deep level. So, next time you want to text her 3 times in a row, pause. Next time she tests your patience, smile. Next time you feel the urge to overshare, don't. Because the most powerful men are the ones who say less, but mean more. The Stoic doesn't chase the flame, he becomes the fire. In a world loud with craving, be the silence that echoes. In a culture obsessed with more, be the man who walks away from excess and toward mastery. They will mock you for being distant, until your presence becomes magnetic. They will call you cold, until they realize your fire burns inward, because the Stoic man, he doesn't light fires to impress others. He becomes the flame that consumes weakness and forges power in its place. So the next time they ask why you're quiet, why you're calm, why you're unmoved, you tell them, I'm not made to react, I'm made to rule. This is not just Stoicism. This is spiritual warfare in a tailored suit. It's not about being liked, it's about being legendary. Now go. Rule your urges, and the world will follow.